India is gearing up to stage its first elections since the beginning of the COVID-19 outbreak. With more than 70 million voters, the elections in Bihar will be the biggest elections to be held under the shadow of a pandemic in South Asia. The Election Commission will be releasing virus prevention guidelines for campaigning, polling and counting. It has received recommendations from political parties in Bihar. Now, these suggestions range from delaying the polls altogether to a possible re-emergence of ballot papers. And some of the other recommendations include virtual campaign rallies and raising the expenditure limit for candidates. Attendance at campaign rallies could possibly be curtailed by the poll authority. Masks would also be made mandatory at political rallies and during door-to-door campaigning. The Bihar Assembly's tenure is set to lapse in November. If elections are not held within the next 2 months, then Bihar will have to vote under president's rule. Now, countries have adopted different approaches to holding elections amid the pandemic. Sri Lanka staged South Asia's first electoral exercise since the outbreak began. But with 20 million voters, Sri Lanka's electorate is 1/3 the size of Bihar. The United States is going ahead full steam with its presidential elections. The US has more than 200 million registered voters and is currently divided over a plan to make mail-in voting universal. But New Zealand has chosen a different path. Despite having a comparatively small electorate, New Zealand has just over 3.75 million voters and has handled the pandemic extremely well. Despite this, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has decided to delay the polls by 4 weeks. In April, South Korea too held elections with 17 million voters turning up at polling booths on a single day.